Welcome to Crescent City with your hosts, Natalie Jean and Jackie Zabrowski.
Hey, Natalie! Hey, Natalie! Hey, Natalie! Talk to the hand! Talk to the hand because the butt ain't listening. Hey, Natalie!
What?
Why are you non-surplused by my amazing costume?
Why are you dressed like that?
Why don't you give me a hand? Everybody that's not watching is really missing out on two fabulous costumes right now, and I want everyone to know I look so biblically accurate. People are worried I'm actually an angel.
Are you working right now?
These hands are chewed, I know, but they're not yours. They are but runes. They are not yours. They are but runes. And why don't you love me? Natalie?
I think this is work.
Are you being a nepo right now?
I have an anxiety disorder. So I can't
From living in the walls?
work.
Oh, so are you Neps? Are you Nepo Silene?
I don't identify as a Nepo
Oh.
baby.
Oh, okay.
Actually.
A Nepo old lady? Sorry.
Oh my God.
Yeah, basic.
I have to go now.
I don't think you can. I think you live in the walls, Silene. But also, if Silene were going to act like this, you'd think she'd be like, fuck my mama, I'm not going to tell you the story.
I don't know what you're even talking about.
Well, again, you are talking to the hand.
Yes, I'm Silene. I'm Nepo baby. I'm Nepo baby.
Yes, you are a Nep and you are good at it. You are giving, but I do think that if you were going to be like I don't want to say Lily Rose Depp because I feel like she's really doing it out there. She's staring at that Nosferatu peen and the peen looks right back. So I guess you're not giving Lily Rose Depp. I'm going to say it. You're giving Chet Hanks.
How dare you?
Are you crying? Oh God, I can't. I'm just a hand sitting on all your land. Silene, stop crying. You know I can't handle this.
My
Come on,
doctor has put me on a calorie deficit for my health for being snatched.
Oh, so you're hungry.
And I'm very emotional right now.
It's hangry. Although, never ask a person if they're hangry. If you think it, just bring them something to eat.
Now, I was so deep in the lore of Thea that when you came in this costume, I could not figure out what was happening. I said,
No.
Are you Jesus's crucified hand?
Yeah, which does look it, and it would I think that would mean that just right in the middle finger is where the blood started seeping out. But I guess if you're crucified through the middle finger, that's the biggest fuck you of them all.
That is kind of fun.
I feel like it'd probably rip through pretty fast.
No, you're speaking of the very traumatic scene in this book that I should not have immediately forgotten because of all of the other things I was trying to memorize. But I think you did a great job. And I like that you didn't put blood on the hand itself in case you needed it for other hand costumes.
Jobs.
Other hand jobs.
Come on, get me in that LinkedIn.
Costume idea, you're the hand. Jeff goes as a big dick.
Whoa. Oh, I thought he would be the job part of it. I thought he would be like business.
I guess if you wanted to be clever about it. But it'd be like, I guess you could dress like an accountant.
But I do like, it's like, do you guys get it? I'm a hand. He's a dick. You get it? I mean, you never want to have a Halloween costume you have to explain to people. So I do agree with you.
And then you could sort of like wrap yourself around him at parties and be like, look what I'm doing.
Look at me. And I'm just like, Although I do
Sometimes
think
it's the simple things.
the more I move around, the more blood I get all over my hand because
Which hand? Your head hand or your hands?
Oh, all of them. All my hands are covered in blood right now. Ugh, don't bring me to the authorities. I'm not made for prison. Although, again, we've talked about this before, and I'd probably do pretty well in prison.
I think you could figure it out. I think you would end up learning how to make it work for yourself.
I think that I would figure out, even if it's just the way, I think I'd be the person that's like, let me take all the ramen spice packets and let's figure out how to make ourselves a good old jambalaya or something.
You'd be a listening ear or a listening hand, I guess, if you were in this costume for some reason.
If I am in this costume in prison, I don't know if I would stand as well. Oh, well, I wouldn't be standing at all. I'm a hand. I don't have legs. Although here today, my legs are covered. This is just the blood that spews from me. Ah!
You didn't buy those just for this costume, did you?
I did.
Oh my God.
Yes, I did.
Hopefully you can return them.
Don't worry, the tag is on the inside.
Excellent.
And it's poking my belly. But I do need to figure out a way to work this hand job into as many things as I can. I'm pretty sure the beautiful part about what we do, I'll use it for something.
It's true. Yeah. No, somebody is asking what our costume budget is on the socials, and it's 0 technically, but we buy things that we reuse and reuse and reuse until it's almost like you can't tell what it was in the first place. And was this a hat at one point?
I think it is, but it's all duct taped together. And at one point we were like, remember when we were like, it's a hat of crows. And then we stapled a bunch of crows to it, but it's covered in real crows. And then now the crows are all atrophied because, what bodies do.
What bodies tend to do.
You know what happens when they're in a group? They moiter.
All right, get out. Hand.
It's
you get out.
Come on, I'm not going nowhere, baby.
I'm throwing you right out the off the chain, just like in the book that we were supposed to be covering.
Like the meatball. Like the meatball that rolls off the table.
I think
onto the floor.
I think more you plop and then just sort of land and splatter.
Oh, I do love to splatter. I am a hand after all.
I hope so, because you're doing this one.
Man, this is I had to make a joke about this scene because I tell ya, I didn't want to revisit it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty nasty. It's pretty nasty.
I just one time, and this is probably going to yuck people out. I remember specifically, I was so hungover and I went to get chicken and waffles at this place in Brooklyn, and they hadn't properly cooked the chicken all the way through. And I'll never forget biting into the tendons on the inside. And I don't know if I've really properly had fried chicken, real, actual on the bone fried chicken since because of it. Ugh. And I think that's what I think about when I think about ripping through the tendons of something. How did they get through the bone?
But see, that's even as a kid, I couldn't eat meat because of that. I would see the body parts inside of it and be like, wait, that's a body. You know?
Yeah.
And then, but that's why, kids eat chicken tendies and stuff. Right. But when you ate McDonald's tendies in the late 80s, early 90s.
You weren't getting veins in there.
Oh, you were.
You were getting veins in there? They were real chicken in there?
Before they made them more fake, they would just use really...
Not like now where it's all... I like it filled with fluff.
Yeah, it's kind of like what's in the people in back rooms. It's kind of what's inside of chickens, And in the 80s and 90s, they just used the really bad parts of the chicken so they could just use it all and not pay that
all
much.
The parts.
So there was always things in there. And I remember as a kid just being this looks like worms and bodies.
Yeah, use them lips and assholes. We got to put them somewhere. It can't all be human
agree.
centipede.
I do think that they should, if you're going to do something to an animal, use all of it, but...
It's always what they yell at me, and they're like, oh, you're the hot dog ambassador of the Southwest region of the United States? And I say, yes. And they're like, how dare you, lips and assholes? I was like, good.
Yeah.
They make those lips and assholes taste great. I'm glad they use all of it.
In the McDonald's world at that time, they were just doing profit margin gaining, but I guess they were at least using it. But it didn't taste good.
Nah.
But that's not what we're here to talk about. They don't have McDonald's as far as I know, in either of these worlds. And I we were talking about how this book gets really confusing because of all of the different storylines. And so I went back and I was looking at the POVs. We have the same ones, except we have Lydia added, and we have way more of Therian's storyline. We did get some Therian in the last book. So we have Lydia, Rune, Bryce, Hunt, Therian, Ethan, and sort of we get Silene's here. But other than that, I could not think or find another POV. Is there any that I'm missing? Giant hand. Giant severed hand.
For half a second, I thought you were calling me Gina hand, and I was like, there ain't nothing Gina about this hand. I mean, there are folds and creases and a little bit of blood now.
Where your head hole is, could use it.
Thanks. I can't think of another perspective.
I don't think there is.
I don't think that there is.
But call me out if I'm incorrect.
Please.
So, yes. The reason I didn't remember who Jackie was dressed as is because there will be these storylines in this episode, but a lot of it is going to be Silene's tale because it is a lot of the story of how much of both Crescent City and Court of Thorns and Roses plays out is revealed in this storyline.
I was trying to describe this to our producer because we were joking around earlier that we do wonder what everybody that works on this show that hasn't worked on this show since the beginning thinks about what's actually going on in these books.
Yeah.
And it was very funny that I was like, you jumped in Crescent City. I was like, ACOTAR technically, it does have deep lore, but this is her trying to meld all of the worlds together. So that's why Crescent City is so deep. It is so you gotta hold on. It's why, I feel like most of the reason of going through these deep dives is to get to this book.
Yes, for sure.
Right?
And because we'll be moving forward in the next books, because these stories aren't done, it's kind of a good way to get your bearings around whatever's about to happen, which because A Court of Thorns and Roses book 6 is coming out in October of this year as we record.
Gosh. And we want to celebrate it with you. We do want to throw this out there. We will be working with the Ripped Bodice to host the ACOTAR 6 release party here in SoCal.
Yes, in Los Angeles.
Yes, if you are in SoCal, you now have plans for the ACOTAR release day. You are going to come and hang out with us, and we're going to have a full night of event, and it's going to be great.
And we're going to have much more information about it, but they will sell out immediately, so we'll tell you when the tickets go on sale. And hopefully we will see you there, because I'm very excited what we're going to do. And also go to the Ripped Bodice, because it's the best bookstore ever.
Yeah, it really is.
And
again, they're in Brooklyn and LA, throwing that out there.
So yes, we are first beginning chapter 20, not in the backstory. We are in the devil's bargain that Ethan had made. He feels immense guilt.
We call it I think I'm calling it a fool's bargain.
Yeah, it's a fool's bargain. That's fair. It's fair.
She says dressed like this.
It's a jester's bargain.
I do like judging dressed like this.
Yeah, I think you should.
I feel like I have more authority.
It's giving like a contestant that's about to be kicked off of Drag Race, you know? Like,
why?
They tried to.
Why? Because I look like a failure. Do I look like failure to you?
It just looks like.
It's not a failure because even getting on the show is an accomplishment.
That's right. They tried something. It didn't necessarily work out completely. You know.
Whoa, I'm given hand right now.
You are given hand, but as a drag queen, I'm not sure. You didn't put lashes on or anything.
No. The makeup is lacking. I didn't know what to do. You know, I was just like, I guess like I'm just going to be bloody here, but then I was going to cover this whole thing in blood. What am I going to destroy this amazing outfit, cover it in blood?
What will we do next time you need to wear a hand that's not covered in blood?
I don't know. I'm going to write something to specifically use this.
Oh, I'm sure you will. So he is doing this. He's made this deal. He has now been told that he actually is fighting Sigrid, the frail, abused astronomer's servant slave that has been rescued, who is a Fendir. We don't know much else about her. And Ethan feels guilt at essentially rescuing her to basically traffic her into a fighting ring.
Yeah.
Honestly,
He didn't mean to.
No, but also like he didn't really plan this out or think about it or like
Natalie.
How
dare you say that about Ethan?
So
he's 4 paws ahead.
maybe maybe he is. Maybe I'm the dumb one. So I honestly, I think about the visuals in these books a lot, like envisioning and fantasizing about when they could be turned into some sort of like visual medium. And I just feel like this scene could actually be, we joke a lot about Ethan. We make jokes about the goofiness of him, but I think the scene being portrayed would be really brutal. Like, I think that you could make this scene almost like horror movie style, because you're really, you feel the weight of all of this, this emaciated captor sort of being thrust into this terrifying underground fighting, ring. And then this big, strong, muscular guy who doesn't want to fight her being forced into doing it is like really upsetting.
Yeah. But the Viper Queen doesn't care.
Yeah. He does feel this immense weight, but as the Viper Queen demands they begin a second time with more irritation in her voice, it's Ethan who lunges first. I guess he ain't feeling that bad about it. He's surprised to see that the still frail and thin Sigrid is able to move. She's got that, she's got that alpha in her.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, she makes contact so quickly, she is able to swipe at his side and rips into his skin. They don't go full wolf, but their claws come out, And so she just immediately like rips into his guts. And then she kind of she does wolf out. They wolf out, but not like they don't fully turn into a wolf. The two of them go at it. She pretty quickly has the upper hand on him, and he realizes with a shock that she's actually trying to claw his eyes out.
Cool.
So she's not afraid of hurting him. It seems like maybe she even has few qualms with killing him.
I mean, this is a fight to the death.
Ethan is going, well, I don't want to hurt her. I can't. And then she's just like, I will. I don't care.
We're literally in a fight. Like you have to.
She obviously is not any qualms.
Nah.
She's not qualmful.
Nah.
So Ethan has intentions of holding back, but that's going to prove to be kind of a problem because she's not. We go over to Therian's POV in this moment as he watches on feeling, sick. He blames himself for threatening Ariadne to leave, or not to leave, but warning her to not kill Ethan, which kind of led her to leave because she didn't really think she could get into that ring and not kill him. But maybe if she had stayed, he thinks that this would have been resolved through just having some like pretty bad injuries. But now it's Ethan taking on this weak and abused wolf, and whoever is the champion is going to be utterly broken. If it's Sigrid, she's going to, you would assume, have guilt over killing the person who like released her, even though maybe she wouldn't.
I mean, she's also an alpha, so it's like,
She's
does
an
that
alpha.
take charge?
And then on Ethan's side, if he ends up winning and getting his friends out, he has to kill the only hope for his wolf pack and the frail female that he just said.
Oh, this is hard.
Man, I wish I could sit and think about this for a while.
Oh, but then it would hurt my brain.
And then she might beat me up if I sit down. So he and Therian and the Feyboys watch slackjawed as Sigrid overpowers Ethan with unfettered rage. Flynn screams at the Viper Queen to end this, but she, in all of her royal cuntiness, tells him it will be over when one of them is headed to the Bone Quarter.
The Bone Quarter.
She's busy also taking pics on her phone, presumably for Snake Snock. Yeah, I said it.
I want you to sit in it. Snake.
You sit in it. You sit in it. I pooped. You have to sit in it.
Oh, it's on her snake snock, eh?
Yep. So Therian realizes that Ethan is taking defensive
How late
poses.
were you writing this, Trent? When you wrote snake snock.
You know, sometimes you just let the stream of consciousness come out.
I get you, bitch. I love it.
And then you
I
don't
get
think
it.
about it the second you write it.
I love this.
Therian realizes that Ethan is taking defensive poses, actively trying to avoid hitting her, but in the process is
I just
getting...
imagine him being like, ugh,
Yeah, I think he is doing that.
no.
Jackie's doing blocking gestures right
yes,
now.
thank you. But it just of him, I imagine, with like a snake hand where he's like, but she likes snakes. If I pretend like my hands are snakes, maybe the Viper Queen will be so proud of me.
Wow, that is some Ethan logic right there.
I feel
so
like
you
that
think
is
the Viper
Ethan.
Queen, the Viper Queen will be appeased if you make your hands in the shape of snakes.
A serpent never shreds its skin.
Oh, Ethan. Oh, Ethan.
He needs to be on Snake Snock.
He can. He's not one. They don't have wolves on there.
Get your finger up, bitch.
Yeah, don't let your
Jesus.
fingies droop over here.
Sorry.
Gross.
Oh, not
So-
in front of a lady.
Lady. So Therian is actively trying to avoid hitting her, but in the process, he is getting completely reamed by her. But is it a ploy? Is this what's happening? Therian's trying to gauge, like, what is Ethan's plan here? Does he have a plan? Come on, Therian.
I do love fuckboy trying to read the mind of stupid boy. I'm just like, whoa, I feel like maybe he's and just on the inside of Ethan's brain, it's just like, oh.
Is this why you watch Love Island?
Yeah, man, it's my idiot aquarium.
They'd be great on that show, I bet.
Oh my god. Honestly, all of them would clean up. Like, get the whole Scooby squad in there. I think that they would clean up.
Show I'd watch. I guess maybe that's sort of like Fangs and Bangs.
I want it in real life.
Leheba. Oh.
Stop! Leopold loves fangs and bags.
So Therian's trying to figure this out, if there's some sort of strategy. He was a Sunbelt player, so he probably at least has that mentality of understanding just movements.
Jukin. Yeah.
So just as Therian cringes, expecting Sigrid to punch his face apart, Ethan lashes out, ducking and piercing Sigrid's guts with his clawed hand. It's not a kill shot, but it's enough to take her to the ground. Ethan stands over her and Therian braces for the killing blow. But then we go back to old Nepo baby.
Get your naps up, y'all.
Get your naps up. We last left Bryce realizing that her legacy, her heritage, was exterminating humans. She is having a crisis right now because while she's getting all the information about how Midgard's connected to this world, she's realizing all of these mythologies she's been told about the Starborn Queen and all this stuff is all a load of crap. They were actually just selfish, evil, murderous fae, just like all the other fae she knows. And she is watching these projections play out in front of her, the leveling of the human cities and the murder and the all of the bad things that they were doing to the human beings on this planet, on Midgard, her original homeland. Her starborn blood is as tainted as the Asteris. They actually were fighting side by side, even though Thea didn't know at the time that she was fighting alongside Rigellus, who pretended to be a fae. She was actually fighting alongside the Asteri.
Sucks. You should have checked a couple of references or something.
I don't know how you test for that, like if there's a strip or something.
Oh, yeah, like a fentanyl strip. Like,
Yeah.
just being like, how evil? Can I dip in to see how evil you are?
How much are you made of space lights?
Mm-hmm. And how many of those space lights are burnt out?
Ouch.
Yeah, I'm feeling bitchier. I like being a judgy hand.
Yeah, because it's like sort of being slapped.
Yeah. Although it hurt my face.
It would, but you're slapping emotionally.
Thank you.
You're visually a hand slapping emotionally.
Oh, emotionally. Like, I think that just came from my
No, I think it
spirit.
just means like you're saying mean things to people.
Oh, I don't want to say mean things to you, though. I'll say it to you as a Nepo baby, though. Get
You
back
call
in your
me a
walls,
Nepo old
bitch.
woman.
Nepo old woman. Sorry. You're looking pretty old from where I'm seeing.
In Fae years, I'm basically a baby.
Well, yeah. I mean, I will say you do
So.
look like a baby. So throwing that out there from one baby hand to one baby old woman, I just want you to know you're given, baby.
Thank you. It's all I ever want.
I do wish I was a pudgy baby's hand, though.
No, let's not have a severed baby's hand on the show.
I just want to grab your hair as you chew my arm off.
All right. Okay. So Silene explains to Bryce, Azriel, and Nesta, who are standing in the room, that they were still attacking the human cities when the Asteri opened a door to another species. Different species, but the same. Another type of Fae from another place. And they're also coming into Midgard at this time, which is, again, the origin story of how all of these different species came to live on Midgard. And they watch as Silene expresses like the wonder that they felt that there was this other kind of Fae, but this kind of Fae was capable into shifting into animal form. Peleus, the general who helped Thea rebel and then turned on her, doesn't like the new sort of Fae that has come to this world. Feels threatened by their elemental magic and their wild nature.
Oh my God, a lesser thing is scared of how powerful these Fae are. Surprise
Much. And they also, these new shifter Fae, seem to have a long-standing relationship with Rigelus, whom, again, Thea still believes is another Fae. Peleus knows better, and he feels threatened. It says, now we are in an espionage turducken. Everybody is double-crossing everybody. As tends to be when you are being a little secret spy jerk.
Man, it's got to be really difficult to be able to tell if an espionage turducken is cooked all the way through.
You never
I feel
know.
like, where do you put the thermometer?
That's why they fail a lot, because it's really, you never know.
Oh, they fail. But actually, I think the Fae are doing pretty well. I think that they're fine, although they are being oppressed.
They are being oppressed, kind of, but not also.
But they're also bad.
They're also oppressing.
They're also oppressing, so.
But by now, through all of this, Thea has grown suspicious of everyone's behaviors. Rigelus has been too enthusiastic about their arrival. Peleus too invested in Rigelus. She observes Peleus partaking in sadistic pleasures on the human women that they captured.
And she gets the ick, but
Well,
not
yeah.
like the capital ick, though. I think like it's just an ick for her.
I'm pretty sure it was the breaking point.
She's like, oh, I don't like that he does that,
Ugh.
but oh.
So she is projecting all of these things in front of the room, and Bryce is hardly able to even look at the images that are flying in front of her because she's portraying Peleus as he is disposing of these women. And Nesta hisses with disgust. Bryce growls out that this is still the nature of the Fae in her world today. Humans treated as disposable toys. She points accusatorily at her ancestors and says aloud that it is their doing.
Whoa.
So her blood, her life is the person who maybe originated this treatment of humans in the first place.
But how do you shame a ghost that lives in the walls? Do you say like, you don't even have a corporeal form?
I don't think the projection can even hear them.
That sucks, because then you can't even throw roasts at her.
It doesn't seem like they're talking at all. It seems like she's just telling the story and they're listening.
It's just like a Tupac hologram.
I think so.
Okay. That makes more sense, and it's more of like an activated, like a Halloween, like a scarecrow that's like, I've been stuffed all night.
Well, that's what happens in Star Wars, right? The Star Wars projections, scarecrows.
He got a brain in space.
Oh, because Wizard of Oz. Got it. I'm up to speed.
Thank you.
Doesn't the projection in Star Wars not communicate? It just tells
the tale.
Yeah, I think
you're our only hope. Whoa, am I in outer space?
Oh my God, you're such a nerd. So
yeah, but like you couldn't talk to little Leia and be like, how'd you get so little in there?
Oh, little tiny Leia.
Yeah.
So they're watching this progression or this regression, if you will, of when they're all attacking the human cities and it's becoming violent and disgusting and they're losing track of what they even were trying to do in the first place. And Thea begins to go into what seems to happen to all mad dictators, which is they isolate themselves. Her circle of trust becomes smaller and smaller until it is only her 2 daughters left. Silene continues that because she and Helena bore shadows and starlight, Thea sent them out as spies into Rigelus's lands to learn what the truth is, because she doesn't know what's happening with Rigulus still, but something's wrong.
They can't just text each other,
No.
you know?
And also she has to like not let Rigulus know she's suspicious of him. So
Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. That's what I imagine
from
she's doing.
Parks and Rec?
From Parks and Rec.
Yes. I love when people hate it, but I like when shows go into the future because it's just like, why not? Let's see some silly shit at the end of this show. You know,
Throw it into the future.
wrap in the end of the show. Let me see what happens to So they go out and do her bidding, and the 2 daughters return with the truth. Rigulus and his cohorts were no fae.
Whoa.
They were another being from elsewhere, existing only as a parasitic species that infests planet after planet. They are the Asteri. It's Thea's turn to reveal secrets. It's only now, when the daughters return with this information, that she reveals their own planet's history to them. So they were still so young when they came over to Midgard. They didn't really know anything about what was happening, but because they were born decades after the Fae pushed the Daglan out. Thea tells her daughters of her actions, and instead of dwelling on all the wrong she's done, because again, we're going to do a recap, I think, in short form of this entire storyline. But
we're going to need it.
Thea betrayed her husband, took all of the power over on her planet after they killed the Daglan, or they pushed the Daglan out. Then she decided she wanted to go to other planets because she went mad with power.
And she was going to turn it back on them because then she was like, oh, you got the power, and then I've got the power.
She didn't know that these are the Asteri. She wanted new planets to rule over. And she didn't know Rigulus was an Asteri because Peleus betrayed her. He wanted the power.
So she's just a rogue-ass bitch that likes power.
Yes.
They've been forever wanting power. So some might even say that, like, you know, Thea was the worst of them all.
Right. She fell victim to herself.
But that's the thing. Ugh. And the mind. And how powerful
the
it can
mind. My mind is victim to me.
Yeah, my mind isn't power hungry. It's just food hungry.
It's mostly just, you know, filled with, you didn't do that correctly. You didn't do enough. You didn't do it right. You didn't make sure you appreciated that person enough. What's wrong with you? It's great.
God, if we could only want, like, just unending power.
I know, if only.
We'd certainly, we'd have a lot more yachts.
Have a lot more crypto coin, I'll tell you that much.
Oh, yeah. And monkeys made out of paper. Not paper. What are the NFTs? I don't even know how to make a joke about them. I don't even know how to make a joke.
Describe to everyone what an NFT is.
They're not fucking there. Come on.
Paper of the mind.
Paper of the mind.
So instead of Thea dwelling on the actions that she had done, she's like basically like, okay, so I made a little boo-boo of two of a bit. And instead of, let's not dwell on it. Let's think about
sure,
the
I got all
future.
these like powerful things. Yeah. Sure, I'm doing
And we've
all
like
these
killed
things.
a lot of people.
Sure.
But let's think about what we can do instead. You know, like the investors of our world who used to make libraries and museums and stuff. They don't do that anymore. But they used to be like, sorry about all the killing and the crushing of like the economies and like all the people we hurt. Here's a library. So this is kind of what she's thinking now. She's like, let's think about what we can do. So she tells them they need to help defeat the Daglan once again, because now she knows, oh, Rigulus is the Daglan. We just didn't know that was the same thing that we had in our other planet.
Bryce placed a hand over the star-shaped scar on her chest, fingers curling into the fabric of her shirt. Could she carve it out of herself? the connections to these two-faced hypocrites and walk away from it forever?
So she feels pretty gross right now that she uses this power that was used for all of this evil.
I do feel like this is like how so many of my friends that have Harry Potter tattoos feel.
Oh, sure.
I feel like, although I'm not saying all of them, and I'm not saying that you should be ashamed of your Harry Potter tattoos. That is not what I am saying. I just do know people that have them that are just like, I wish I could cut it off of my skin.
I mean, you got to just kind of rework it into something
else.
You
have to remember what it means to you. And you just have to, or you get it removed.
Or you get it covered up.
And you can do that. Blastovers are very popular now.
At least the Deathly Hallows insignia is pretty easy to cover if you want to.
Easy to cover.
So,
but that huge full back piece of Dobby, I don't know what we're going to do with it.
Let's leave Dobby out of this, all right?
I'll put some socks on his ears, I guess. And then they're like, hey, at least he's free.
I hope so.
Nice
I do hope
friends.
Somebody has a full Dobby back piece somewhere in the world. And I bet they do.
Somebody's gotta look at it as they're railing somebody. And that's who I'm thinking about.
That's why you get it.
It's nice to come with friends.
So
that's using his death line to turn it into a jape about coming. Talk to the hand, Jackie.
Get a hold of yourself with your hand.
It's just that any costume where it's just my head poking through makes me feel crazy. It's just,
it's better than you feeling finally at home.
Yeah, like this is my final form.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm finally seen.
So in secret, Thea and her daughters gather and discuss and learn. And from Thea's time as a servant to the Daglan in her past, from the time of that big battle when they pushed the Daglan out, she still kept all of those maps she'd discovered, which is how they helped beat them in the first place. And she saw there was another world on these maps that had not fallen victim to the Asteri. They're similar to the maps that Bryce saw when she was in Dusk's Truth. So when the Asteri tried this other planet and failed, they're like, we need to get a hold of this planet because they have some kind of secret to help us. The images, as Bryce watches, shows Thea summoning the Dread Trove from her space pockets. Remember, she has them hidden. That's why they haven't killed her yet. And she creates a doorway with them.
It's solidified, an archway to nowhere. A handsome, golden-haired male stood before it, with eyes like blue opals. Bryce inhaled sharply.
Prince Adis only asked my mother one thing when she opened the gate to his world. Have you come to ask for Hell's help then?
Here's the thing. Badass. I know we're not supposed to be like, go Queen Thea, go Thea. We're not supposed to, like, she is girl bossing too close to the sun.
Oh yeah, she has.
But I feel that this is really cool. She opened a fucking door to hell.
She opened the door to hell.
That's
and there's
cool.
a kind of hot ass man right there.
Being like, you want my help?
Oh, hey.
Help. And she's like, you're funny too. Oh, wow.
That's their slogan. We're here to help. Oh, no. We get that intro to how Adis got himself involved in all of this. And it ended up being Thea using the same tactics she had found in her old world, but finding this other planet who maybe would have some more advice about how to deal with it now on this other third planet, Midgard. But we don't know what happens from there because we're back in Dungeonton.
Hello? Hello, I'm waving at you. Hello, it's me. Have you thought about me?
You're going to make yourself sick.
Yeah, I am dizzy. I am dizzy just from doing that. But it's good because it's a free high.
Free high, yes.
Yeah, but also free hello.
I don't know how you listening are standing,
at you.
missing
Hello.
Jackie waving her hand right now. How can you live with yourself?
Get over to the YouTube.
I think we all remember where we left off last time in Dungeonton. It is like a worse version of the original Saw. That they have come up with a plan that Hunt was going to chomp off Rune's hand, but then Baxian steps in as sort of a penance and says, I will do this. So we are now, as they are enacting their plan.
Man, this is a lot like Jackie's Snackies over on page 7. This is, I feel like, is this what you feel every time you co-host on page 7 whenever I bring in Jackie's Snackies? Like, do you think it's like this?
Am I the Baxian?
Yeah, where you're like, I will join you in your journey.
I feel more like the Hunt in that situation because you never give me the really awful ones. So
That's true.
the others, like the Holdens, they stand in my stead.
Yes, you're right. I wouldn't do that
To pay
you.
penance to me.
Yeah, actually, yeah, I am. I do hope that you feel stronger every time someone eats something disgusting on Jackie's Snackies.
I do.
Because I am gaining you power.
You are. And they have to make up to me for being Holden.
I mean, you are Silene also, and you're very scary.
I don't think that was a compliment.
I think that it was. Look at me. Could I lie? With fingers like these, could I lie?
I don't know.
These hands are runes, I know, but they're not yours. They were just runes, but they got chomped off by Baxian, and he is amply bleeding. I'm free bleeding.
I have to go now.
Oh, you have more important things to do. No, we're back in the torture room, Natalie. Get with it.
I'm getting my skin glossed.
Whoa.
It's being turned into glass.
Oh my God, you are placid.
Let's see. Where are we?
Silene
we're
would,
Torchington.
honestly, I feel like Silene would really be like, all right, go ahead, chomp his hand off.
Oh, she doesn't care.
Yeah, she don't give a sheen.
She, as we learn here in this story, but we are in the midst of this horrible scene. And it's so awful. And it's like, well, of all the things that Hunt's been through, it's like the worst thing he's ever seen. And he is trying really hard not to vomit, even though there's not much left in him to puke up.
Hunt, think about what Baxian and Rune are going through.
Yeah, but I would also, it'd be hard to watch that happening in front of you.
I know. It's just like on Love Island when they kiss like your partner in front of you and you have to hear the smacking of the kissing.
And you
It's
have to
just like that.
Chew their lips off.
Yeah, but well, yeah, like sexually.
Okay. Not.
No, it's more like oh, you want to chomp them off?
Okay. That's so.
Someone get me in the villa. They have been asking me and I keep telling them I'm married.
I'd love to watch you on the show.
Thank you. Always in my teeny keenies. Clothes are illegal in the villa. Oh, I'm sorry. Back to our blood and viscera conversation.
But the scene
Hand. Thank you.
and all his senses are overwhelmed with the horror of it all. But Rune doesn't scream and doesn't ask Baxian to stop. Baxian, his chin, I'm not going to go too deep into detail.
Thank you.
This is the grossest. His chin covered in blood and viscera, panting, tells them that he's almost done. Hunt dissociates, thinking only of Bryce and their future babies, their life together still floating above him, holding on to that single thread of hope left. He doesn't know how he's going to come back from this mentally, though. He blames, he might have some stuff going. He blames himself for the fate of Baxian and Rune and can't begin to imagine how he will ever be able to look at Bryce in the eye in the tiny fraction of a chance that they'll ever meet again. This scene is extremely brutal.
Yep.
Baxian finishes his task and Rune is left dangling from one arm. So now you've made the floor.
I did it.
You did it. Good job.
Give me a hand.
I mean, that's a joke for Rune to make, not you.
Oh, I don't know if he's in the place to make a lot of jokes right now.
Maybe he can keep it in his back pocket. The hand.
Yeah.
So Vaccine finishes his tax. Vaccine finishes his taxes, and Rune is left dangling from one arm, and he can't help but scream in pain as his hand that's like left in his shackle, his battered body is now only hanging from one shoulder, and it was already probably dislocated. But there's no time to waste to worry about that, and Hunt immediately braces his feet against Rune's side and shoves him towards the weapons rack.
Rune swung toward Hunt, blood everywhere, and Hunt steeled himself, then gave him another kick. The prince's toes connected with the iron poker, held, and as he swung back, the poker came with him.
They did it! They did it!
Sure, it would have been bad if it was for nothing.
Oh, certainly it won't be.
It won't be for nothing.
Hunt was strategizing how to help Rune invert himself using only one arm when a sound chills his blood. A mocking voice.
Cold horror cracked through Hunt as Rigelus approached, flanked by Pollux and the hawk.
Seriously?
It's bad timing. It sucks. And I'm just like on the floor being like, man, we were so close.
It's almost as though they waited until he was done chewing through his friend's hand to walk in the doorway. Like, how fucking evil can you be, bro?
Yeah.
Man, can you imagine doing all that and then immediately like it's for nothing?
It's just, honestly, it is bringing me back to the villa. Like when Melanie was waiting for Sincere and Soul to kiss in Soul Ties.
Immediately just
and she was waiting from the wings, knowing that they were going to kiss, waiting to just pounce on them when they were kissing behind her back. And it's just like that. So thank you for bringing this to our attention. Did you space out?
I don't
These
know
are
what you said.
people's lives at stake, Natalie.
Yeah, I'm really worried about them. But now we're back to Ethan, who is standing over Sigrid when we last left him. The Viper Queen.
It's a rough chapter.
Yeah. Viper Queen seeming ready to be over with this fight at this point. She stands, telling Ethan to finish her off so she can go about her day. Ethan realizes in the moment that this was the real fight that she actually came for. She wanted to watch whether Ethan would choose his friends or the Fendir heir, giving the wolves to be free of Sabine. So it's not necessarily the physical fight she was in for. She wanted to see the psychological fight that Ethan was going to make and the decision he was going to choose, which is
cool.
Very cruel.
It is, I mean, I said cool, but it is cruel, but also...
she's hot. I can't. I'm sorry that she's attractive.
Just like, I would be so bad at being evil, and she's so good at it. And I like to be scared of women, you know?
I know. I get it. So this is the choice she wants to actually watch. Sigrid from the ground looks up at Ethan, her face smeared with blood, both his and hers. Ethan feels nauseated looking at what he has done to her. Her eyes are sad and defeated, and as though she's expecting these to be her last words, she thanks Ethan for like taking her out of the astronomer's grips. She's basically saying, my last words are thank you for helping her. Ethan wonders what Connor would think of him in this moment. God, stop it, dude.
Always with the, I just.
It's just not really helpful in this moment.
No,
for him
but
to
it
go
would,
there.
But at the same time, I understand why SJM does.
Of course.
Like I get it. Like it does. Like
I'm not mad at the writing. I'm mad at the character.
Yeah. Ethan lowered his claws. Slowly, he turned to the Viper Queen, whose face was tight with displeasure.
Fuck you and fuck this bargain. If you don't let me.
Sigrid struck.
Oh, Ethan. He's so simple. He's just so enthusiastically simple.
He was just thinking about what Connor would think.
She had obviously played him. I mean, she had been trying to literally take his eyeballs out with her fingers 5 minutes before this. This swipe that she like takes on him at that moment is meant to be a kill strike. Her claws reach desperately for Ethan's throat. The Viper Queen is intrigued by this turn of events. She may have predicted it, but it's clear she's watching this as a fun little sociological experiment. She thinks Sigrid is a Fendir, quote, through and tells them so. But she's not upset by it. She's just like, ah, yes, interesting. She is a Fendir, isn't she? What's she going to do? Make your brother proud is what rings through Ethan's head over and over as he retreats and then awaits the next attack. This time as she lunges, he aims for her shoulder, hoping to, maybe rip out a good chunk of her dominant arm to slow this down.
But Sigrid was fast, too fast, and did not yet understand how swiftly she could move. Neither did Ethan. One moment, his claws were heading for her shoulder. The next, she'd managed to bob to the right, planning to sidestep the blow. One moment, Sigrid was dodging him, so swift he didn't have time to pull the punch. The next, she was still, eyes wide with shock and pain. His claws hadn't gone through her shoulder. They'd punched straight through her throat.
What are you going to do?
Oops!
Yeah.
Punching through viscera is punching through viscera at this point,
Sometimes you got to punch through the throat.
Uh-oh.
So we leave there for the moment. And at 21, we're back with the news that Thea has opened a gateway to hell, the planet she had seen that had pushed out the Asteri. And here we get the origin story of how Adis and Thea met. We already knew that Adis had fallen in love with Thea through Bryce's experiences with Adis. And together they once again defeated the Asteri, only this time on Midgard. So we know that part. We know what this is leading up to.
Mm-hmm.
Or that they didn't defeat the Asteri. I shouldn't say that. They had fought against the Asteri. They did not defeat them.
Obviously. Still there.
Silene explains that Adis and the Princes of Hell had used summoning salts in their world after they had pushed the Asteri out to keep track of them, because they knew full well that it was only a matter of time before they returned, and they wanted to know what they were doing and where they were, even if they couldn't reach them. He had traced them to Midgard and had covertly been watching them since, though not able to appear in solid form. Until now, that is. Bryce's head is swimming.
Yeah, I think all of our heads were swimming at this point in the book.
Adis and the princes were here for good in this tale, aiming to destroy the Asteri. So they were the technically good guys, although we always know there's never really a black and white in any of these stories. Nothing is ever clean cut, though. He has fallen in love with Thea, who had committed atrocities by this point. So Bryce is trying to figure these complicated thoughts out that we have in our own lives all the time. People are messy. People are complicated. How could he have fallen in love with this female fae who had done these horrible things? How could he love her unless he was just a sadistic person himself?
Mm-hmm.
Silene explains that Thea and Adis plotted for many nights, both staying on their own sides of the portal, neither daring to step into the other's world and yet falling in love.
Oh, honestly, it's kind of like falling in love on the Mind Bridge,
Oh, it's definitely like the Mind Bridge. Or if you had to write letters to each other, I'm thinking of how that would be in old-fashioned times. I feel like people didn't get to spend time together a lot back in the day.
Yeah, I guess they were writing letters.
They were like, just knowing each other across spans of time.
Yeah. God, it's hard enough to stay in contact with people nowadays.
I know, right?
God, imagine back then. Good
be like,
Lord.
you'd hear from them. They'd get one letter to you in 3 months,
Yeah, what, I got to get on a barge? I don't know. I feel like it's like if I gotta like pack a trunk to see you, I'm probably not gonna come see you.
Ouch.
Like a Titanic kind of thing.
Oh, you're just thinking about like 100 years ago.
I'm only thinking about the Titanic. Yes.
You think about it. So, near or far, wherever they are, Adis and Thea fall in love.
Cute.
Together, they decided that they would need to build armies in Midgard and ply themselves with the knowledge that they think will help. Humans, knowledge, that is. Because after all the devastation that Thea partook in, she needs their help. Silene tells them in the room, Bryce and Asriel and Nesta, that she and Helena next did their spy work for their mother by going into Parthos, the libraries in the human realms, in the cover of shadow.
Okay, because we need human information.
Yes, they have history. They know about the Asteri in a different way, and they need their information. Nesta seems just as furious as Bryce, which we know is likely connected to the fact that Nesta was born a human, and they are disgusted by how these humans are being treated in this story.
Parthos was more beautiful than any city currently on Midgard, adorned with elegant spires and columns, massive obelisks in the market squares, sparkling fountains and complex networks of aqueducts, and humans milling about in relative peace and ease, not fear.
So it sounds pretty cool. You know, I think she's sort of trying to, like, what's the word? She's trying to elicit, like, images of Rome and Greece.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce spots the library in the projection, a massive collection of buildings. In it, she knows that the knowledge, the truth is kept there, and why the Asteri needed to be rid of it, why they wanted to decimate the cities. They wanted to eliminate history, which is what all fascist regimes want. They wanted to erase the history and rewrite it. A scene inside these buildings now unfolds in front of Bryce. Humans and Fae are shouting at one another in this image, a barely composed gathering together. But Thea, in the middle, continues to talk. And over time, people begin to settle and to listen to her. The humans knew much of what Thea is already explaining to them, though she's able to clarify parts which the humans didn't know. But now, the humans hold pieces of this puzzle of the Asteri that changes everything. With both sides, Fae and humans, seated inside of Parthos, they listen to one another, and the humans decide to reveal what they have discovered.
As a lone human woman stood from the crowd, Bryce reminded herself to keep breathing, to steady herself.
As the human reveals, it's all in the water, baby.
What? I thought Soil and Green. It's got nothing to do with Soil and Green, Jackie.
It's
what people. We're
what
talking about it's in the
plants
water.
crave.
Yes.
The Asteri has saturated the drinking water on this planet with microscopic parasites that spread throughout the Fae body.
Microplastics.
It is kind of like microplastics. It allows the Asteri to control the magic of the land, make it more weak and malleable. The Asteri created a coming-of-age ritual for all magical creatures who had entered Midgard and their descendants. A blast of magic would be released and then contained, and then fed to the Asteri. It was a greater, more concentrated dose than the seeds of power they sucked off us for years in the tithe. They spun it into a near-religious experience, explained it away as a method to harness energy for fuel, and had been feeding off of it ever since.
What?
Which is class what?
The drop.
That's the drop.
That's a drop. Oh, wait a second. That's not for us. That's for you. Oh, no, that's a drop.
Oh, that's what we call a drop.
Oh, no, it's no good.
So Thea and the other Fae learn that this tithe that they had been forced to give to the Daglan was just a scrap of nothing compared to what they take from the creatures of Midgard. They they put this water parasite all through their body. It allows them to almost leash the Fae creature, the veneer, and then they also send them through the drop, which takes a big little, like it takes a section of their magic, and they get to eat it.
I would say, though, that, like, if Thea weren't already queen, I would give her a promotion. This is a really good idea. Like, this is really, like, if you want to harness
Well, that's the
power,
Asteri. Yeah.
but I'm just saying that, like, working together, I feel like this is really something that, like, gets you This gets you a corner office. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. You're definitely like making partner or whatever.
Yeah.
They workshop this a lot on a lot of planets.
It's a good idea.
Like every ruling class, the Asteri spreads folk tales and mythology about how if you performed this drop anywhere but the safety of the Asteri guarded sites, horrible things would happen. Bryce listens in horror as Silene explains that the Asteri didn't simply take their magic on Midgard, they leashed them, every veneer, utterly in the control of the Asteri. Silene, her sister and mother, fall in despair along with the Fae present for this revelation from the humans. It's almost too much to bear. They, of course, had drank water of this world since arriving, and so it's too late. But Thea would not relent, and over time she began to once again gather armies, appealed to the Fae that she could, and eventually built an army of 10,000 on Midgard. Adis and his brothers in Hell procured 50,000 of Hell's people.
So do you think that the fact that we drink so much water now, do you think that this is actually the Asteri that are taking our power from the water? Because like in the 90s, we didn't drink water at all.
Oh, you think we had powers then?
Or I think that they were scared of our powers then. And I feel like now we should be igniting the powers that are in our blood, the microplastics. And I feel like we should be utilizing the microplastics inside of us. Maybe we could put magnets inside of us to gather the plastic, and then we can turn it into some sort of specter of evil.
So you think we should gather the microplastics
in the balls? Don't they gather in the balls?
In the balls?
Yeah.
Oh, the testicles?
Yeah.
I know a lot of young people are getting rectal cancer, and I think are something to do with the prostate.
That's what I'm saying. It's gathering somewhere, right? So maybe that's what they're doing. Is this big water that's been going after us?
My main issue with that theory is that we didn't have powers in the 90s.
We weren't drinking water.
So I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. So it's what could have been leashed is what you're saying? Our potential.
Okay. I see.
Now you see, we could have, if we had been encouraged or supported
to
but
drink
instead,
more Pepsi.
We were watching television and drinking Pepsi Blue.
I thought you said Pepsi Blue was when we did have powers, and then the water stopped us.
So
from
maybe
having
Pepsi
powers.
Blue gave us the powers.
So Crystal Pepsi was actually the way we could have all
and that's why they took it away.
Magic.
And that's why they took it away from us, Natalie.
Yeah. All right, I'm with you now.
Thank you. But now what kind of powers are we going to get with all these zero sugar things now? Because I
think we need to stop drinking water.
Yeah, that's what we're learning from this.
So they step over the threshold finally in this time. They've gotten these armies together. After they learn all of this horrible information, Thea's like, I'm not stopping. I'll do whatever it takes to end these Asteri creature parasite things. And so they get their armies together on both planets, and then they choose their day, and then they open the gate, and Adis walks into Midgard with all of his military.
Oh my God, it's like the day of Taylor Swift's wedding, you know?
Ugh. And the war we've learned of from the other books commences. Silene doesn't have the words to express the brutality of this war that happened 10,000 years before Bryce was born. Here, Thea went against her former general. So when Peleus was once her general and, thought she was on his side, he betrayed her, working along the Asteri, and she fights against them. Though, as we know, there is no victory in this war. Silene goes on to say that she doesn't know the full love story between her mother and Adis, but that something in her changed. She changed from a man, I guess, but that amidst this terrible war even, a calm came over her mother. She told her children, her daughters, that when the war was over, they would go to hell to live in peace with Adis, no longer interested in ruling.
Wait a second, you killed my daddy and now you want me to go spend forever with the daddy that stepped up?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know if the dad was that great either, because he was also just like, I want to rule everything. None of these people seem like, the team you want to be on.
Yeah.
But yes, now this is the stepdaddy. But stepdaddy's he's a prince still. I mean,
he's a hot stepdad.
Hot
you know.
stepdaddy. I mean, you don't really want your stepdad to be hot, probably, but
Depends.
oh no.
Mommy, I'm coming for ya.
So she doesn't know exactly how they fell in love and why it changed her mother, but she really saw this difference in her and that her mother said, I was wrong. I shouldn't rule. This is evil. She tells Silene that she and Adis are in fact mates and had found each other across the spans of the cosmos, which is pretty sexy.
It is, but like you're so evil, girl. Like I can't support
I
your
know,
love.
it's hard. You can't. It's hard. Bryce doesn't feel any compassion either. She wants to atone for her mistakes for the remainder of her life. Of course, none of this happens. Bryce and Nesta aren't really feeling sympathetic about it anyway. Silene describes the night that they last saw their mother, the two daughters. It was mid-battle, and they were high in the mountains in an encampment.
So they're just huffing on a bunch of spray paint, and they're just like, man, mom's like fucking going crazy.
Well, I think when you're high on a mountain, like up in the air, you do. I mean, I have you ever gotten like the mountain dizzies?
Yes.
You can't breathe as heavy.
Well, not so much that, but I definitely got the mountain. Oh, I can't smoke as much weed as I want.
Because it's too much, like,
Because it's just like,
yeah, you can't get as much. If you've ever been in like a high climate, like your lungs actually get almost tighter. It's a really weird feeling.
Also,
so you kind of be like high.
Also, I will tell you what, they ain't fooling when talking about having to have different cooking times when you're at different altitudes. It really screws with what you're cooking.
I've always seen that on the back of like brownie recipes and stuff.
And they mean it. Like it is, I mean, we didn't think that. And I just remember we were in Colorado and I remember we were trying to make potatoes and it took hours. It took too long.
Couldn't be me.
Is that crazy?
I tell you to quit climbing mountains to cook and you just keep doing it.
I love potatoes up high.
So yeah, they're up on the mountains and what we know to be at this point, Ramiel. So this is the very same mountain where from Akatar, there is a big storyline with the Illyrians who are like, basically like almost worship this mountain.
Oh yeah.
And so they're up in this encampment during this battle. It is not going well. Thea has been wounded. Adis has left, returning to Hell to recruit more soldiers because this first army that he brought through has essentially been slaughtered.
Round up some more.
So there's going to get some more. Instead of sending her daughters back out to fight, Thea summons the horn and the harp, and also the dagger, truth teller, as it would be called one day, from her space pockets. Thea holds on to the star sword.
Also, it's got to be difficult to hold all of that. I imagine her like juggling it, but like, oh, I got to put on, oh, wait, let me play the harp. Oh, wait, let me get the.
I don't know how space pockets work. It could be like Mary Poppins, like her bag where everything just kind of goes in.
Yeah, like in D&D, they have a bag of holding. It's a
Yeah.
similar thing.
Yeah, I think it might be like that. She pulls them out though, and she says, you know, you take these things. She herself holds onto the star sword, which would one day become runes, then Bryce's. So it stays on Midgard with her.
I've held that sword before.
Oh, the hand.
It's big, just a hand.
You're right.
That's
You
what
have hand.
That's what he screams from the floor, and Pollixen probably kicks him into a trash can.
I don't remember. We'll have to find out next episode.
Okay.
Thea has set up this camp near the very spot where she, Peleus, and the Fae had entered into Midgard in the first place. She didn't understand entirely the magic that creates the portals, but she hoped that if she went to the same place where they entered, it would lead back to their home world. She doesn't tell anyone until that moment, so to keep Rigelus off of her track, and she doesn't want, obviously, Rigelus to have access to this world again. She just wants to open it long enough to tell her daughters to go back. If she had survived this war, her plan had been to go back to their homeworld and plead with the Fae of this world they're in now to come defeat the former captors. So she was going to, you know, if she had got the upper hand, go back to her homeworld and like offer this. She thought she might be killed, but if not, she'd say, come back with me and help us once and for all kill these parasites.
It's a big ask, but it would have really helped out a lot of people.
Yeah.
Thea pressed a kiss to each of their brows.
She says goodbye to her daughters, and she tells them to hurry, that Peleus was in search of them, as he wished to use them as a way to legitimize his place as ruler and force marriage on one of them. He was already deemed a prince by the Asteri at this point.
Oh my God, she's literally like, there is a countdown clock till you turn 18, Mary Kate and Ashley, and you've gotta run.
I don't know if they worry about that in this world, but
Yeah.
hey.
I guess it's also, I mean, probably though, but or would it be like, oh, if you're under the age of 100, like, I don't want to F with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I do think at this point they're not kids anymore.
'Cause
They are.
they're old now, right?
No, I think they're like 20s.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they've not been in Midgard very long at this point.
Gotcha. In my head, this all lasted much longer, but I guess
don't
that
think
makes
so.
sense.
I think it's supposed to be she's still like a pretty young woman.
Gotcha.
So Thea is saying goodbye, trying to open this doorway for her daughters. And in doing that, she pulls the star magic from her chest in the projection, and Bryce is startled to see it as almost a mirror to her own. Thea uses the harp, and some of her starlight enters her daughters. Silene tells the room that the harp can also transfer magic the way it moves bodies, and sort of like moving a piece of soul to another. So Thea transfers her light magic to her daughters with her command, which I think means she knows she's about to die, with her command to go back to the point of origin nearby their encampment to leave this world. Thea runs back into battle. She jumps on a Pegasus
Cool.
and flies away.
Cool.
Bryce looks in wonder at this Pegasus, realizing in that moment that all of the art in Midgard displaying Pegasus aren't just mythology, and also that Jelly Jubilee is based on a real creature in their world that went extinct. Not the time to be thinking right now, Bryce, about that, but it's pretty cool.
No. And also, last time I'll bring up Love Island on this episode, the nurse that just graduated from nursing school last year asked her mother if dragons were real. She didn't know if dragons were real, but she's a nurse. I just wanted to throw that out there.
This is why I can't watch that show, because the concept of watching an adult woman say that makes me so angry and so frustrated with this world we're in that
but at least
it's
she
just like
asked. She didn't just go on thinking that dragons weren't real. Someone's got to ask the important questions. Are dragons real?
we're so doomed.
We're the
so fucking,
Pegasi.
we're so fucked.
The Pegasnooze.
We're so fucked. Anyway, while their mother is gone, with their mother gone,
I mean, dinosaurs existed. You know, it makes sense, you know?
when their mother leaves the tent, Silene and Helena flee, aiming for the archway near their encampment where they had first entered Midgard. It's this natural archway of stone, which we assume is the archway we see at the end of A Court of Silver Flames, if you're an Aki.
Far below, Fae were rushing up the mountain. Not the advancing enemy, but members of their court racing for them, realizing what Helena and Silene were doing. Still glowing with their mother's magic, both princesses stood atop the slope like silver beacons in the night. The Fae masses sprinted for them, bearing small children in their arms, bundled against the cold.
So basically, the Fae who had entered Midgard with them were now running, begging to be let back into their homeworld as Silene is going towards it. She plucks the harp and waits for Helena to blow the horn. But Helena doesn't blow the horn as they face this portal. Helena looks instead to the charging Fae, and also who followed them, the wolf shifter Fae who were fighting alongside the Asteri. Even in her dismay, Bryce is taken aback by the fact that these shifter wolves, the wolves of Midgard, are actually also Fae of some kind. So Ethan and Connor and all of their wolf family are all actually Fae.
What?
Helena shoves Silene through the portal and then runs away in the opposite direction, leading the wolves away from this spot. For a few moments, a shocked Silene on the other side of the portal, falling into this very room they all stand in, is watching from the other side. She can see Midgard through the portal still. And she can see the Fae rushing for the opening. She also sees her mother in the distance, locked into battle with Peleus, sees her mother fall and die at the hand of him. She has a moment to choose.
Mama, why?
Mama did all of this stuff.
But
It's her
also, I'm
fault.
going to say, I bet Silene is not like tearing for mom. I don't think they had like a Gilmore Girls kind of relationship.
She seemed to have a lot of love for her mom. She's also
more as time went on, I feel like.
I think it's sort of like a Kris Jenner situation where there's a lot of complicated feelings.
Gotcha, but they like the power that Momager gave them.
Yeah. So she's watching this all happen, and in this moment, she has the option to choose to return to fight or to remain in this room. The portal is still open. She decides to live with the gate shutting. As it closes off, for a few moments after, she hears the Fae reaching their side of the portal, and they begin pounding on the stone, begging, pleading for her to let them in, to at least take their children. But
he didn't.
She only sits on the ground and sobs. I can't do that right now.
Oh, so you're too overwhelmed, so all of the Fae are gonna die? So because you're overwhelmed?
My hands have a disorder
Are
where
you
they don't do labor.
offending my people right now? Because I'm pretty sure I've talked to the hand, and the hand says that it is listening, and you don't work very hard. Guess I'm judgy. Sorry you didn't help nobody. All right, I'm at least helping. I'm doing something. Okay,
That's really sad.
girl, get over yourself. All right, you got to do other things now. Now what are you gonna do? Start
She's
like a
gonna-
clothing line. Start like a
She is.
non-alcoholic
She's
booze.
making her art.
Oh,
So,
Feyre.
yes, we learn in this storyline, Silene is just another selfish Nepo baby. Bryce is enraged and disgusted. This is her legacy, this whimpering, selfish coward feeling sorry for herself, curled up around the harp in this room. She stays. She doesn't go and help, and she doesn't allow any of them in.
I mean, I know it's not badass. I know it's mean.
You
but
think it's bad?
also,
Really? I think it's so Gwyneth coded. Like, I feel like it's just like, I can't. It's just, it wouldn't work out if they came here. It
would be crowded. Like, it's like, where would we put them?
what
Like,
if we don't have any jobs for them. So Bryce, yeah, she's furious. Silene explains in this projection that as she lay there wrapped around the harp, she realizes she is the only one on this planet who knew what had happened. And I'm going to call bullshit. You realized that when they were all trying to get back because you wanted to cover your tracks. You didn't let them back in because they would also have this story and they would talk about how your mom and you fucked everything
I'm a
up.
hand. I can't hear you. I'm a hand. I have no ears.
And that's what she's doing.
That's what she's
like,
doing.
I couldn't, I guess I'm the only one. I have to do something about it.
It was really crazy what I had to go through to get back here, and like nobody else was coming,
It's
and
just-
definitely I didn't hurt anybody.
I just,
Yeah, I feel like this is her apology video.
I've been through so much.
Do you want to pull out a ukulele? Like, do you need
I don't,
use the harp?
that would actually require a skill set, which is, it seems like some Nepo babies don't worry about.
No, I don't think she's working on her like war plans.
No. So She is now the only one on this planet who knows what happened. She knows the truth of what went on the other side of the portal. She's in the very room in this projection that the three are in now. Only at this time, there are no carvings.
Oh my God. Inspiration striking.
It really is. They watch the projection as it shows Silene begin to carve the walls with her light magic to tell the story.
The vision went dark. Then Silene's face appeared again. Older, worn.
Oh, here's old bitch.
Here's old
Nepo
bitch.
baby.
Her clear blue eyes looked out with a steady gaze.
So after the many, many years of doing this, she returns later, but before we get to that part, she spends all these years in the mountains, and these very mountains underneath them, carving the caves and the stories on the wall. We now understand that the prison island in Prythian was once a palace. It was her palace, her mother's. When Silene returns, it is abandoned, considered cursed by all the Fae who did not leave with Thea, because they're like, Thea's a bitch. She's a bitch. Her land is... No, we canceled it.
Yeah,
Canceled.
she got it all stuck up with her bitchdom.
So now nobody goes there. And so when Silene returns, no one's there. And Silene decides in this moment to make it actually cursed.
I'm a curse you now, bitch.
She wandered through rooms that must once have been familiar to her, pausing as if lost in memory. Then she waved a hand, and entire hallways were walled off with natural rock. Another wave, and ornate throne rooms were swallowed by the mountain, until only the lowermost passages, the dungeons and the chamber far beneath, remained.
If I don't want it, then no one can have it.
It is a very cool imagery. Like seeing
No, she's very powerful.
Huge palace
Yes.
that you start to just turn into a mountain, closing it off and like turning it all just back into a mountain, but underneath all of the rooms still exist where you're going to now. She begins to seek out the monsters of this world. Using her star power and the magical objects that she has, she lays traps for all the creepy crawlies that were left behind by the Asteri. Because, of course, they brought them in to, like, torment the Fae when they were there. As she locks them away, and then she locks them away in the former palace that she has now turned into an underground prison. So Silene explains that she wanted to remove any living trace of the Daglan, hoping to relegate them to mythology over time. She erased them and portrays it as a noble thing, trying to help the world move on. But Bryce isn't so generous with the theory.
PR is everything.
It
slut.
really is.
Yes.
Clock out. She thinks Silene simply wanted to hide her shameful legacy. She hates her, in fact, noting that she could have allowed those Fae through with her, allowed those children through easily, and chose not to. And I'm with Bryce.
Whoa, hot take.
She seemed to have wanted to save her own storyline, make it her whatever she wanted.
And
so
the rest is still unwritten.
she writes it. She whitewashes everything that happens.
She wall writes it, yeah.
Yeah, so in Silene's telling of the story, she wants to protect her world from the memories of the Asteri. And getting them creatures out is probably a good thing, but it's not for anything but her own selfishness.
Yeah.
And this is for the Akis. It makes me wonder about the origins of Amren.
Oh.
Did she come in after this timeline? Because I thought she was this old. And then if she was this old, was she brought there by the Asteri as a monster originally?
Oh, and that would make so much sense because they did use her as such.
I wonder. I don't think we have the full answer to that right now. And also that makes me think of that being that creature that Nesta fought in Silver Flame. What was up with that? Because I thought that was a Daglan, but if that was a Daglan, they would have been gone already at that point. So I don't know. We don't know yet.
Shadows of Dag, I guess.
Shadows of Dag.
Mm-hmm.
After she completes her mission, these creature imprisonments, she begins to wander the lands of Prythian, unrecognizable, because she was a little kid when she left. She just wants to see what happened to it. She tells Bryce through the projection that she met the High Lord of Night on her travels, and doesn't go into detail on how they wed, but she does tell them she became his bride, that it was her mate. She tells them that this High Lord wished her to be the High Lady. That was the custom at the time. There was a High Lord and High Lady who ruled equally in the lands at the time.
Whoa,
but
and Feyre's ears are pricking.
Well, yeah, because Silene said, I don't want any of that. She saw what the power did to her mother, and she said, women should stay at home.
Good. I am tired.
And so the tradition of a High Lord and a High Lady was lost with her. There only became High Lords by the time we reached the Court of Thorns and Roses. She had a son in this time, and in secret, when she had the son, she took the baby to the prison and warded it to his bloodline. Her secret.
It's like, that's the kind of shit that like you really think about to get ahead. Like,
Right.
I'm not thinking like that. Like, I'm not thinking of using my blood to curse things.
Well,
We could be so much more
get a
powerful.
giant pen and write it down.
Okay, like Harold?
Because your hand.
Oh, because I'm a hand.
And so she does this. She wards the prison to her bloodline, which is a secret, what this child is capable of, this star power from what used to be the Dusk Court and no longer is. When her son gets older, she reveals her truth to him and him alone. Boy mom shit.
Oh, no. Don't bring up Jenny Mullen.
Oh, no.
Don't.
Oh no, you know that Silene was straddling this son, being like, "You're my boyfriend."
Well, she doesn't have anything else at this point, you know. She's done carving, so have a baby.
She just got some dumb husband. So she never tells her husband, though, these secrets. She only tells her son. She tells him of this other world, of the dread trove, all of the things she's kept hidden. And she never reveal this to anyone but his next of kin, who would tell his next of kin, and so on. A secret shame, a secret history, a secret weapon, all hidden within our bloodline. Our burden to carry forward. Carved and recounted here, so that if the original history becomes warped or parts of it lost to time, here it is, etched in stone. Nesta seems to realize in this moment that this lineage is connected directly to Rhysand, and asks Azriel if Rhysand knows all of this. Whether Silene's plan of carrying it to the generations had worked. Azriel tells her no. Tells her that somewhere in the line of descendants that all of this was forgotten. Because, you know, we've seen, if you're an Aki, we've seen Rhysand go to this prison and he obviously doesn't know anything about it. He's like, it's weird over here. It's this weird prison that I have to control for some reason. It's a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
But also, reminder, that makes Rhys and Bryce related. Hence why Rune looks exactly like Rhysand, I would wager.
So also it's like looking at this hand, it's like looking at Rhysand's hand.
Oh
Do
my
you feel my
God.
power?
Yeah.
Do you want to touch me? Do you want to touch my finger?
It should be, you know what you should have done is tattooed the hand, because he probably had tattoo. Like he has, you know, he has knuckle tattoos.
You know
I think Rune would also have probably painted his nails black.
For sure, you're right. Yeah, I should. I'll. You know what? I'll paint the back of this.
Yeah, you put some tattoos on it.
Yeah, but I imagine palm tattoos would probably last longer in the world of the Fae. Like I feel like it wouldn't like heal over as much.
Yeah, but it would be kind of faded and blown out because they have to use their hands still all the time and like they exfoliate so fast.
Yeah, with all their sword work.
Yeah, and so basically Rhysand and Bryce are distant cousins. Silene tells them that she herself lived to quite an old age, well past her mate, the High Lord. She lied and lied and lied to the younger generation, spreading these stories around because she was she was married to the High Lord, so she had a lot of power in that world. And she would tell them, no one knows what happened to Peleus and Thea. Beyond them, they betrayed King Fionn, and those weapons, those magical weapons everyone talks about, they were lost to the sands of time. And then she tells them, oh yes, Thea did have 2 daughters, but forgotten about.
You're fine without them.
She feels pain at having to destroy Helena's legacy, but she does it all the same. When she is close to the end of her life, Silene comes back to this room and imbues it, the stone, this story, this projection into the magic of the walls, hopefully to be found by her descendants one day if the story falls, by the wayside over the years.
The image blurred, and there she was again. That old, ugly, horrible, weary face.
Rude. I look really good for being like 400 years old. I'm just saying. Huh?
You do look pretty good. But also, please, Silene.
I hope the mother will forgive me,
Silene said, and the hologram dissolved.
Well, I fucking don't.
Bryce spat and flipped off the place where Silene had stood.
Yeah,
wait.
take your fingers down.
Is this better?
You're kind of giving this right now.
Oh, no.
Other one. There you go. There you go.
Up yours, Silene.
She's being a real Avril Lavigne right now.
Yeah! Avril Silene. Being a real put some
No,
fucking...
Bryce is.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no. Bryce does need some socks on her arms. I've been saying she's missing on
And a
them.
loose tie.
Yeah, bitch.
Crazy.
Bitch. All right, well.
All right. So I hope you guys got all of that. You will be attested. It will be for half of your grade for the semester.
It was these are thick ones. These are thick chapters. There's a lot shoved into this, which is why we definitely needed to take the time to get through it.
And Jackie, I think we should do a short form essay video kind of thing to just break down this backstory. Do you think we should do that?
I think that is a really good idea because I think that even just over the last 2 episodes for us in our brain to like bullet point it out, I think would be helpful.
Could you maybe start it and I will be there later.
I feel like I've done this group project before, and I feel like you're not gonna be there for me.
Okay, thank you
No, get
so
back here.
much.
No,
I
wait.
have to go.
I think that
though.
actually, if you could you please? No, I think that actually, I might require your assistance. I'm just a hand. Please read up until chapter 24 for next week.